to day 3 of our yoga challenge. Today is going to be all about the spine. So I know the spine isn't, things, it's not something that people often complain about being tight necessarily, but the spine is, it's our core, it's the core of our entire upper body, and it's what, basically is responsible for all of our movement, all of our stability, our ability to stand up straight. And the muscles that surround the spine do a lot of work, holding us up, helping us stand, helping us sit upright, helping us to bend down, to pick things up. So the muscles around our spine can get pretty chronically tight. We just don't necessarily realize that it's our spine that's tight. We just think of my back is tight. Specifically, my lower back is tight, or my lower back hurts. So today is going to be all about moving the spine in all of its directions of motion, which, fun fact, there's spinal flexion, which is folding forward. There's spinal extension, which is back bending. There's lateral bending to one side. There's lateral bending to the other side. And there's twisting in both directions. So our spine has 6 different ways that it moves, 6 different planes of motion. And so we're going to take the spine into all of those planes tonight or today as we move through these postures. So we're going to start standing in mountain pose. And we're just going to come into some simple side bends. So take that left arm, sweep it up and over, reaching over across the ear. And make sure the shoulders are staying stacked and parallel. The chest is open, that you're not collapsing down into the shoulder, and that we're not over-rotating up towards the ceiling. So try to keep everything in one plane. You can even take the bottom hand into the hip and just manually, gently press into that hip for a deeper stretch. But we're really just thinking about taking the spine in that lateral flexion movement. So trying to keep the weight evenly distributed between both feet. So notice if you've rocked over to one side. And then we'll take some deep breaths here. So breathe into that left side body. Feel the ribs expand as you inhale. And draw the belly in, engage the core as you exhale. Last breath here. And then we'll inhale to come up, and then we're going to switch sides. So inhale the right arm up and over. Option to take the arm down at your side or to take it onto your hip, your choice. Good. Think about lengthening through the spine. So rather than just crunching down through the spine, think about lengthening through the vertebrae and then bending laterally. Keeping that top shoulder in the same plane as your bottom shoulder. Chest is open, collarbones wide. Align the neck with the natural curvature of the spine. So notice if your neck is really dropped down, or if you're kind of crunching up towards that arm, and try to bring it into natural alignment with the rest of the spine. Breathe into the right side body. Feel length and expansion as you inhale. Drawing the belly in as you exhale. Last one here. Good. Let's inhale to come up. And then we're going to come into a really, really gentle back bend. So we don't want to go too far because our spine is pretty cold right now. So I want you to take your hands around to the tops of your seat, like you were going to insert your fingers into your jeans pockets. So the heels of your hand are right at the top of where your seat meets your low back. Fingers point down, feet hips distance apart. Engage the core, so go ahead and zipper up the abs, and then we want to inhale, get long through the spine, and then as you exhale, just gently, really gently, start to bring the upper chest, the shoulders back, keeping the heels of the hands pressing into your seat. Thinking about if you were a pole vaulter, you wanted to arch the spine up over that pole to just squeak over the pole and complete your jump. Good. So keep the abs engaged to protect the low back by engaging the core. Good. And on your next inhale, let's come back up. All right, so let's come into our standing forward fold. So first, let's inhale the arms up. As you exhale, hinge from the hips. lengthen through the spine as you fold over the legs. Now bend the knees a lot here. It's not about the hamstrings, it's more about the spine. So let the spine round as you drape the torso over the thighs. Let the head hang heavy, so make sure there's no tension in the neck. So you might want to nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Release any tension out of the neck. Good. Like one of those bobbleheads that your head is just like, woo. Good. Let the arms hang. You can even hold opposite elbows if you like, and maybe sway a little bit from side to side. Let gravity begin to traction through the spine as the head gets heavier and heavier down towards the floor. Good. On your next inhale, go ahead and release the elbows. Bring the hands up onto the shins as you start to come into that halfway lift. So bring your spine parallel to the floor. Press the hands gently into the shins, straightening most of the way through the legs. Reach your tailbone back and the crown of head forward. Iron out the creases on the back of your neck, so really lengthen through the back of your neck. Halfway lift. Beautiful. And then exhale, bend the knees, slide the hands back down into that forward fold. Good. Let the crown of your head really draw down towards the floor, rounding through the spine, draping the body over the tops of the thighs. You can hold opposite elbows again, or you can take the hands to the back of the calves, back of the ankles, like me. And just really allow the spine to just drape like a heavy canvas over the spine. Good. Now let's bend the knees even more. Take the hands down to the floor, and we're going to step back to come into tabletop position. So if your knees are a little bit sensitive, it might be helpful for you to place a blanket underneath the knees, especially if you're practicing on a hardwood floor. If you're practicing on carpet, you'll probably be okay. So find your long spine in tabletop position, and we're going to come into CatCow, a wonderful stretch for your spine. So on your inhale, begin to lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then slowly let the belly draw down. Good. And then we're going to take the upper chest forward through the tops of your arms, and take the gaze slightly forward in front of your mat. So we don't want to throw the head back and crunch through the back of the neck. Instead, find length. Make sure you're still pressing the floor away. Good. And then exhale, begin to move just the tailbone. So start to round through the tailbone, reaching the tailbone down towards the floor as you create this rippling, wave-like motion through the spine. And then draw the chin down towards the chest, bringing the gaze between the legs as you come into cat pose. So press the floor away, spread the shoulder blades. Good. Really rounding through the spine as you bring it into flexion. And then on your inhale, start to lift through the tailbone once more, rippling through the tailbone, sacrum, low back, mid back, upper back, and your neck as you come into cow pose. So imagine again that your spine is like a heavy canvas draping between 2 points, your shoulders and your hips. Good. As you exhale, begin to round through the spine, from tailbone, rippling forward, ending with the head as you come into your angry Halloween cat, rounding through the spine, press the floor away. Good, let's do 2 more rounds. So inhale, ripple forward, draw the shoulder blades together on the back body, shine the heart forward between the upper arms, cow pose. Exhale. Move into your cat pose. Last round, inhale, tailbone lifts, sacrum lifts, low back, mid back, arching through the spine into the upper back, and finally the neck. Press the floor away. Good, really stretching through this extension of the spine. And then as you exhale, ripple through tailbone, low back, mid back, upper back, head draws down, cat pose. And then we'll slowly come back to your tabletop, so bring the spine back to neutral. And then we're gonna inhale, take that left arm, reach the left arm up to the ceiling, rotated tabletop. And then on your exhale, take that left hand, thread it through the space in between your right arm and your right thigh. Coming down onto the front of the left shoulder, bringing the left temple down to rest on the floor. Now you can bring the right hand nice and wide, coming onto your fingertips, bringing it onto the floor or the carpet outside of your mat. And then we're going to use those fingertips as a pivot point to help you deepen through the twist. So this is thread the needle pose. And we want to keep our hips stacked directly over our knees. So notice that my hips have not traveled forward in space or back towards my heels. We want to keep that right hip and from poking out to the side. Instead, we want to keep the hips centered over the knees. So notice if that may have happened with you and try to make an adjustment to bring the hips back over the space of the knees. Revolving through the spine here, so taking the spine into its twisting movement. Inhale to create space and length through the vertebrae of the spine. Exhale, draw the belly towards the back body, engage through the core to see if you can twist just a tiny bit more. Breathing deeply, feeling the ribs expand and move out of your way as your breath fills the chest 360 degrees in all directions. And on your next inhale, we'll take the right hand down beside the face and begin to press into the hand to come up, return to tabletop, so reset, and then plant the left hand, unfurl the right arm high to the sky, revolve to tabletop. Exhale to thread the right arm through the space between left arm, left knee, coming onto the front of the shoulder, bringing the right temple down toward the floor. Taking that left hand wide, coming onto fingertips. Inhale to find length in the vertebrae of the spine. Tailbone reaches back. Top of the head draws forward towards the top of the mat. Notice where your hips are in space. So try to stack them directly over the knees best you can. Breathing deep on your inhale. And drawing the belly button in as you exhale. Two more rounds of breath. Good. On your next inhale, take the left hand down to the floor, press up into your tabletop position. Maybe take another round of CatCow if that feels nice. And that's all she wrote, folks. Quick little stretch for your spine. I hope your spine and your back feel nice, that you got some tension release and that you're feeling good. If you completed this video, if you did the whole session, then comment done below. Let me know that you completed your day's challenge. For those of you that are still with me, great job. If you're a little bit behind, don't worry. It's not about finishing, it's just about coming to the mat each day and taking some time to release tension, to work on your range of motion, and just setting aside some time to do yoga. So I'm super happy that you guys are here doing this challenge with me. You guys are amazing. Let me know how your back feels in the comments, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 4. Bye!